Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be talking about the unique selling points of Tom Clancy's The Division. Now, this is a video that's designed to kind of talk about this and even help new people or people who might be wondering or wanting to play this game to kind of see some of the unique aspects of the Division game and maybe hop right in. And for those of us who are veterans, you already know the drill. We always say these things because we continue to harp on them, because if we continue to harp on the good things that make this game what it is, we're most likely going to be getting a much polished product and perhaps a 2-3 year game out of it. Now, I have 5 different points that I'm going to share with you, but before I jump into it, I want to do a little bit of self-promotion for something I've been working on for a very long time. Now, if you guys remember, I told you I was working on a little project, and this project is a little course that's designed to help YouTubers who are starting their journey trying to make and grow a gaming channel. I've designed this course to be able to help you start off and actually, rocket your way to gaining at least your first 5,000 subscribers. And the reason I say that is because your first 5,000 subscribers is a very huge milestone. And so I've shared everything that I know. I've shared my mistakes, and I've also shared some really cool tips and tricks that can help you get started on the right footing. Now, I've started out the course by publishing 12 different lessons in order for you to actually start with. I also have about 5 more that's slated for the end of February that I'm also going to be publishing as well. So I've decided to, set it up as a subscription plan because updates and YouTube changes so much. And so there are 2 different pathways you can go. You can subscribe from month to month, or you can just go for an annual subscription. You get to decide if the annual subscription is maybe too much for you to put up immediately. The monthly subscription, I've priced it very reasonably for people who, just want to kind of see what it's about. And if you can watch everything in a month, I would even encourage you to actually do that initially. And so this is the project. I'm going to talk more about it in other videos, but let's jump into the video today. You can go check it out, link in the description. Now, the unique selling point of the Division game, the first one is it's a post-apocalyptic game without zombies. One of the really cool things about the Division game is, unlike other post-apocalyptic games, you have the zombie mode that's actually saturated all over the place. But Tom Clancy's The Division and Tom Clancy's The Division 2, even though predicated on some kind of a virus that's actually caused an epidemic in the human population, or in, I would say, the Western Hemisphere, nothing of the sort of zombies have been put into this game, which is a very good thing. I remember when the game first, came out, and when the Division 2 came out, a lot of critics, especially one of very, popular notoriety, Angry Joe, said all the time in his reviews, I wish this game had something a little more, like, maybe zombies or monsters. And everyone in the Division community said, no way in any form or fashion do we want zombies or monsters in this game, because that is a unique selling point of Tom Clancy's The Division game. Tom Clancy's universe doesn't have the zombie or have that kind of thing in it that we know of. Maybe for those who are nerds, you might be able to point out to something of that sort, but it is not within the universe of the, the espionage and the secrecy and all that stuff that comes with it. What we have is the more realistic setting that actually goes with it. And so one of the really unique things that stands out with the Division 2 is, even though you can see the decimation of society, you don't go as far as seeing the, weird, importation of zombie storylines, because to me, that just spoils everything. Plus, there are 1 zillion other zombie games that you can engage with if you really wanted to play those. And they're actually good ones, if you understand what I mean. Which leads me to the second unique selling point for Tom Clancy's The Division 2, which is it is done in a real world setting. Now, when I say real world setting, I'm not just talking about open world. I'm talking about a realistic universe that you can actually, in some cases, feel, touch, smell, and see. For those of you who play The Division, who live in Washington, D.C. or in Manhattan or in New York City, I know many people don't live in Manhattan because it's very, very expensive. Many people actually do go around Manhattan, if you understand what I mean. And maybe there are people who do live in Manhattan who play The Division 2 as well. And if you do play the game and you know about the city and you know about everything, and you then log into your game, it's one of those things where you feel like you're living in the world where you're actually having your gaming go on. For many many people, this is quite surreal and interesting. In fact, when the trailer for The Division 2's Warlords of New York came out, I saw a comment on Ubisoft North America's YouTube page of somebody saying, "It's funny how I'm sitting in my car in Lower Manhattan watching a trailer for a game's DLC that's going to be set in Lower Manhattan." We see comments like this all the time. I've seen comments of people saying, "It's crazy how I have to ride, the train around DC in all these different places where I see the Division stuff that's also been set in that way." In fact, what's even better with the Division 2 is they actually did a one-on-one representation of Washington, DC. And even in Warlords of New York, Lower Manhattan is also getting a one-on-one or one-to-one representation of the map. So this is a very unique thing. Now, I know Destiny has a lot of popularity among a lot of Destiny players and then other looter shooters like Warframe, but these games are very much removed in the way they've done their own open world settings. The Division, on the other hand, decided to take on Ubisoft's primary means of making most of their open world games, which is setting it in real cities. The Assassin's Creed games have done this in trying to replicate ancient cities in most of its games, but in terms of the Division, they've done it in a modern world setting where you can see structures, skylines, cars that are decimated. You can see animals around the place. You can see civilians. All of this makes for an amazing selling point for the Division game. The third is that the game is a sci-fi looter shooter. You have skills, you have all kinds of things that are not necessarily normal to own, except if you have some kind of expensive technology, which is created and afforded by the storyline and to your agent, who is the player that you're actually leveling up and playing the game with. This availability of these different, sci-fi gadgets make the game much more unique. And also, it's a looter shooter where you can loot all kinds of things that help your agent to be much more powerful, much more unique, and increase your agent's survivability. This, in my opinion, makes the game very, very nice. The way we actually build in the Division 2 is very in-depth. We build with numbers, we build with attributes, we build with statistics, we build with all kinds of things together to make your agent strong. This is not something that you see in many other games. Now, yes, that doesn't say that many other games don't have ways like these to build. I'm just saying with the Division game, a very huge aspect of the game is in the building of what makes your character strong in terms of their numbers, agility, stamina, damage dealing, and all kinds of other things that you can actually put in there. In fact, in some cases, your agent can be an amazing support player that's actually been built in a very hybrid way. And also, they don't allow for you to just pick one specific class. You can actually mix and match classes along the line. So this is really unique, in my opinion, and makes a very, very amazing selling point for the Division game. And then number 4, you have an open world sandbox with team and opponent mechanics at a whim. So you can jump into the Division 2, you can matchmake for any mission, you can matchmake for open world activities, you can even call for help. You can actually put out a call sign and an agent can hear and accept and join you in whatever you're doing. This is a very unique aspect of the game that I do enjoy very much. Not saying other games don't have it, but the fact that they've stacked up this one more functionality with all the other things that make the Division game actually cool makes so much sense to me. If you go to a mission, you can matchmake for that mission. You can jump in with other players. This is available in Destiny. It looks like it's going to also be available in the new upcoming Marvel Avengers game, but I can say the Division has actually done this in a very awesome way. The one thing that we will say is in the raids, we don't have that matchmaking system in terms of the regular raid, but we do have it for discovery mode for players to be able to explore the raid, explore the mechanics, and understand before jumping into the real thing. And then finally, the amazing selling point that I feel like makes the Division stand out as unique from every other RPG looter shooter out there is the Dark Zone. Now, there are games with PvP, PvE mechanics as well, but the Dark Zone not only provided the PvE, PvP mechanics, it provided the sandbox that allowed for the PvE and PvP mechanics to be able to take all kinds of, unfortunate, all kinds of unforeseen turns where one player can be in a situation and then all of a sudden that situation can turn around for that player either in a good or a very, unfortunate way. So players can run around, they can try to achieve what we call rogue status and manhunt status, which is when you're a rogue that's taking out a bunch of other agents or even other rogue agents, in fact. And now anywhere on any side you go, you gain rewards for doing them. In fact, the developers have actually promised to increase the amount of rewards and even risk that will go into the dark zone. So for anything that you do, you can go into dark zone and be a friend to agents and help them out, and you can gain rewards. You can go into the dark zone and be an enemy of agents, and also if you're successful to be an enemy and run out your manhunt timer, then, or deactivate your manhunt timer, if you pardon me, then you can also gain rewards. The systems have changed from the different games. Back in the day in the Division 1, you could run out your rogue timer after about a certain amount of time if you were manhunt on different levels, and then they changed it where you had to go to a manhunt station to cleanse off your rogue status. And so that's why I'm dabbling back and forth with the different mechanics. But nonetheless, these are the things that make the Division actually a very fun game for a lot of people to play. If you go into the game right now, Division 2 is on sale for $3, and a lot of people are jumping in to see what it's about. If you jump in and you're kind of wondering why all these things are the way they are, these are the things that make the game what it is, and this is the way the game has been designed. So I hope that was actually quite informational for most of us. For most of us who are already players of this game, we know what's up, we know the drill. Thank you very much for your time and audience. Thank you for listening to the video. Don't forget to check the links in the description below if you've ever thought about starting a gaming YouTube channel. I've got a few tips to help you out, and I hope that's something that you'll find useful. You can also give feedback as well for things that you would like to see as well. So I'm very accessible. You can hit me up on Discord. You can message me on my email, or don't tweet. I don't use Twitter much, but if you do, I've been told to use Twitter, so I'll probably be checking it, but it might be a few days before I get to it. All right, I'll get out of your hair. Thank you very much for your time and audience, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.